Hello everyone, it's Jamar Hicks coming to you guys from Las Vegas, Nevada. This week's topic is resources. I found myself in completing therapy and even the initial assessment that I was only using the assessments that my company offers. And in talking with my clinical supervisor, I was kind of lost and I was confused in what diagnosis I should assign this client. And it was classically PTSD, but I had the feeling that it wasn't intense enough. I mean, it was causing some problems in, day to day functioning, but I didn't feel that the intensity was there for a PTSD diagnosis. But I really couldn't find any other diagnosis that was fitting. So me and my clinical supervisor, we were going back and forth, and he was just asking me questions about, symptomology. These symptoms are present, these symptoms are present. And then he asked me, he goes, well, what does it sound like? And I was like, trauma. I was like, it's PTSD, but, and of course, we had to talk about, there's really no buts, but we talked about additional screeners, and I didn't know that I had the ability to use additional screeners or anything other than the company provided. So he introduced me to patient health questionnaires, PHQ screeners, and it's pretty amazing because they have just an array of screeners, directed towards mental health. And so one of the screeners that I use was the PHQ 9, Patient Health Questionnaire Screener 9, which is for depression. And it's really simple. It was just 10 questions, and they were rated 0, 1, 2, 3. And then you total up the score of all of your 1s, 2s, and 3s. And of course, you add them together, and it gives you a level of intensity, which was great help because I was also struggling with creating a treatment plan for this client because the place that I am at is bills Medicaid. In some places it's Medi-Cal, but the public insurance, and there are particular keywords that I'm learning that needs to be in clinical documentation. So I was struggling with creating a treatment plan for this client and making it measurable, because it being measurable was one of the requirements for Medicaid for reimbursement. So I was struggling, and I couldn't make a goal measurable. So for example, now that I have the PHQ 9, one of my goals was to decrease depressed moods by the PHQ 9 score. So if they score, let's say, a 14, and then we come up on our 90-day review, and now the score is 8. That shows that, the techniques that we use are effective, and the depressed moods, associated to PTSD have decreased. So, like I said, it helped me greatly in making my goals measurable. And I'm not sure if these are requirements of creating a treatment plan for you guys, but my place bills Medicaid, so this is a definite requirement of making the goals measurable. And I have done other measures like 2 out of 3 days or 4 out of 7 days, but I didn't want it to become really cliche for me. I didn't want it to be the only repetitive way that I'm able to measure, because it's really difficult to measure percentages. So I was just going back and forth with my clinical supervisor, and this is, what he offered me. So I think you guys should check with your site to see if you guys could use additional screeners that you guys find that, are, valid. So check them out. Again, it's Patient Health Questionnaire Screeners. If you Google that, they will come up. PHQS9 is the one that I used for I'm sorry, PHQ-9 is the one that I use for the depression measure, and they also have the PHQ questionnaire for anxiety. It's the two I've been using to make things more measurable. So hope this helps you guys, and check and see if you guys can use the resources. Have a good week.